back to work on the Kohler light plant or electric plant. So obviously the biggest thing that I think I'm concerned about at the moment is no spark. So after reading through the manual, which here's the manual right here, all 101 pages of it, I decided what I'm going to do first is just basically clean up all the connections before I even try to do anything with the fuel system or anything like that. Because, I mean, honestly, if you have fuel, you know, if you don't have spark, it doesn't really matter. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and pulled the magneto. I went ahead and marked my spot on the magneto cup, and then I also marked the spot on the magneto. I've got to figure out where this line goes right here. It was kind of hanging out when I took it off. This right here was also hanging out. I think it goes to the bottom of the magneto now that I have the magneto out. So one of the things, or what that line is, sorry, this is actually the ground for the magneto. It's number 5. Oh, sorry, on this this panel right here. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, which are the spark plugs, I take it, and then I think, no, those lines go to, they go to the governor. Yeah, so they go to the governor right here, and they go to the choke right here. Maybe this line goes right here. I have to look at that. Anyway, the problem is in the manual I have, the pictures are not all that great, so I'm having to do a lot of reading and kind of figuring out where things are at based on my based on the words. You know, pictures really help sometimes. But anyway, on to the magneto. What I've done is I've gone ahead and taken the magneto, broke it in half. So it would normally sit like that, right there. And because one of the things I figured I needed to do is I needed to clean the points, which if we look, let me see if I can get everything right here. There are the points right there, and they're not necessarily the best things in the world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean up the points and look at the rest of the electrical system, see if we can't get a good magneto out of this thing, and then we'll go from there. One thing I did notice is, okay, never mind, I got it. I was looking in here to see how the spark plug wire is connected, but I figured it out, so not that big of a deal. So anyway, another thing that we have is I went ahead and pulled the cover off the electrical panel. Here we have the main coil. This is just based on a quick read through the manual. This is the charging, or this is the generator. This is the first circuit, I think. These two circuits over here are both for cranking and safety circuits. This would be the automatic versus non-automatic. And then here on the other side we have a battery charging rate. We have a high and a low. That's how fast the battery charges. Obviously I'll have to do a significant amount of electrical work to plug anything in. I'll need to rewire a bunch of stuff. I did pull a couple of the connections, they're just the screwed down connections. They seem pretty clean for the amount of dust and debris and grime on top of them. The connections themselves are pretty clean, just a couple that I took apart. I'll also need to get the generator head. I pulled those 4 cap screws off, but I was unable to get this shield off, so that'll be a project for another day before I can do much there. So we're coming along, you know, learning a little bit more about it. Before we crank it, I've got to clean up the valves still. I need to change the oil, take 7 quarts of oil, plus I need to find an oil filter for it. It's a Fram C130 oil filter. So I don't even know. I haven't looked to see if Fram still makes those or not. If not, I'm sure I can find one somewhere. Nice thing is we can just use a remote oil filter as well because of the way the oil filter connects. We have the hard lines outside the case, so if need be, I can just install an aftermarket oil filter. Also, I need to loosen up the exhaust pipe on the manifold there, because I really don't want to straight pipe this thing when I start it up. I'd really like a muffler on it. So anyway, coming along. If I find anything else or I get spark today, I'll update this video and come back and let you know. If not, wait till the next video. Got the magneto making spark again. At least on bench testing, I saw little flashes of blue. I guess that's right. So next, I wanted to go ahead and pull the spark plug, see what they look like. Not all that great. I'm kind of rusted. Hopefully the camera will focus on that. There you go. And they all four look like that. There's the second one. So not exactly what I would call a good situation, given the fact how rusty they are. So let me get that back in. There you go. So I decided what I would do is, after I pulled the spark plugs, see if I can't see in the cylinders. Let me get down on the ground here. And doesn't look all that great. Oops, sorry. If you shine light in there, I don't know how well this shows up on video, but you can see there is a bunch of crap on top of the pistons. And then the piston wall, or the cylinder walls themselves, from what you can see in there, they don't look terrible, but they don't look great either. So really it comes to the point of, you know, exactly how far do I want to go, what do I want to do. I could stick a vacuum in there, try to vacuum it out, or should I go ahead and try to pull the head, and at which point, I know head gaskets for these things, if you can find them, are very, very expensive. So that's certainly my worry, if I have to pull the head, because I really would like to get all that crap cleaned out of there. I don't think that's very good for the engine itself, if all that crap is in there, all the rust and everything. So I'll probably go ahead and pull the cylinder head, just for good measure. I mean, I figure while I'm at it, I might as well do it right. So anyway, I'll have to drain the radiator and then go from there. So anyway, just another update. Slowly working on it.